Oh yeah, it's landscaping season, baby, and we got money to make. It might not look like it, but it's spring here in Canada. Today it's cold and it's snowing, but regardless, there's money to be made, and I'm going to tell you how to make easy money landscaping. I've done it for 16 years. I've been in business for myself. I make decent money. I keep it small. And there's definitely money to be made. And I'm starting to make it already. Work is coming in and I'm lining it up. If you haven't seen my other videos, I suggest you go watch them or watch them after this one. There's easy jobs. I'm telling you how to do them and how to get into them and how to do it with little or no money. How to get customers. There's a few videos there you can take a look at, and there's some other ones you might enjoy as well. Regardless, today's video is using your current jobs to make more money. That in the end will make your bottom line even better at the end of the year. So, for instance, using subcontractors and upselling. I went to a quote maybe 2 weeks ago. Someone called me up. They said, "Hi, I've heard about your business through a friend. You did really good work for them." They were impressed, and I was impressed when I went and looked at their work. I'd like you to do some work for me. Can you come over and talk to us about it? So I said, "Sure." So I went over and set up a meeting. I went over and spoke with this man and his wife. We walked around their property. They showed me what their concerns were and asked me if I could do it for them. Now, as we're walking around the property and they're explaining, for instance, they needed their interlock. It's been there 15, 20 years. They're interlocking bricks, their patios, their walkways. It's all sagging and weeds growing out of it. It's been, long enough that it's due for an upgrade, whether that is out with the old and in with the new, or take the old out, clean it up, and put it back in, which they're interested in doing. So as we're walking around, we're looking at their bricks. I'm looking at the rest of the yard to see if there's anything else that we can address while we're there and if they would be interested in doing it. So I'm taking notes, mental notes of other things that I think that could be upgraded at this time. So we walk around the backyard, make it out to the front yard. We look around, and then they ask me some questions, and they say, "Is there anything else other than what we've showed you that you've seen that you think we could upgrade to make the house look nicer?" I said, "Absolutely. For instance, right here, your driveway, it's asphalt. It's been here how long?" They're like 20 years. Well, it's all cracked. It's brittle. It's looking like it needs to be replaced. I could give you a price on that. They said, "Yep, sure, add that to the list. Definitely." Okay, great. Anything else? Yeah. Well, your gardens are looking pretty tired. They were probably planted, let me guess, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, they are. Well, they are overgrown and they're not looking modern anymore. Maybe you want to do something with that. We could remove the current plant material and plant something else, a fresher look for you. Yeah, we could do that. Maybe some mulch and soil after. Yeah, yeah, that sounds like add that to the list as well. I said, for your front entrance here, I mean, your concrete steps. Again, they're the age of the house, probably 50 years old. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, well, we can go over top of your concrete steps with an overlay system that'll match all your existing bricks if you're interested in something like that. And they said, "Well, how much is that going to cost?" And I said, "This is what I always say to people. It's easy for me to spend your money. So I'll give you all the prices and you just decide what you want to do. And we'll do that for you. Whether we come back the next year or the 2 years later and do some of the other work that you didn't want to do this year, no problem. Makes no difference to me. I'm just here to make you happy and answering your questions." "Oh, great. Give us a price to overlay our concrete steps." Okay. And I said, "While we're at it, if we're doing that, your railings here, they're wood and they're falling apart. They're rotten. They've got to be the age of the house." "Yes, they are." "Well, I can give you a price for aluminum railings with glass, with or without nice glass. It'll look beautiful going up on your new steps. How much is that?" "I can give you a price for that as well." So now we went from just lifting and relaying a patio and a few walkways to potentially doing a whole new driveway, doing all that work that we originally came out for, doing the railings, doing an overlay, doing planting, and this job went from, let's say, 10,000 up to 30,000. Just a ballpark idea. So they're happy. They know they're talking to me. They're okay, great, good meeting you. Get us the numbers. We'll go from there. So then I leave, and now I've gotten used to this, and this is something that I recommend you do. Over the years, you have to look out for other contractors, and you get their information, and you see if they're doing good work, and if they want to do work for you. I don't do asphalt. I don't do asphalt driveways. But I know a company that does, and they've done them for us in the past. I got their number. I had them do mine. They did a good job. So then now when someone asks, "Oh, do you do asphalt?" I just say I do. So now I called up the asphalt company. I said, "Oh, there's $700 or 700 square feet of asphalt for you to remove and replace. How much is that going to cost me? He gives me the price, and I put my percentage on it. I mark that price up, and the people, hopefully will go for it. Same with the railings. I don't install railings. That's not my profession. I'm a landscaper. I do the brickwork. I do the plantings, but I don't do railings. So I have a guy who does railings on our behalf. So again, I measured it up for railings, took a couple pictures, sent it off to the railing guy, and said, "Hey, how much to do the railings?" He gets back to me with the quote, and I say, "Perfect, thank you." Now I relay that to my customer through my quote and mark it up. I got to get paid for setting it all up, and it's part of the job. So now I'm making money, extra money on the railings. I'm making extra money on the asphalt driveway. And if they didn't have an irrigation system, a sprinkler system already, that's another one that I would have thrown out there. Said, we're planting all these new trees and plants for you. Maybe you want a sprinkler system. They already had one, but if they didn't, I would have sold them on that too. Now, I don't do irrigation, but I have a company that I've met over the years that they do. So again, I would call up the irrigation guy, say how much to do this property. He would give me a price. I would mark it up and take my percentage for setting it all up and having it part of my job. I would bill the customer for his work and I would pay him directly. And just just doing that, walking around the property with them, getting the extras like the mulch and the planting, that's me. I'll do that. So that just made that job grow with that extra work. The landscape, not the landscaping, the driveway and the railings. Those are extras that I'm not even doing. All I'm doing is the middleman and making sure the job goes well. And I'm getting paid for that now because now they're going to pay me to do that potentially, to do the driveway as part of the job and the railings as part of the job as well, which I've marked up. And I'm going to make even more money on the job now because of those two subcontractors that I know do good work and I highly recommend. So having subcontractors like that around as you meet them is beneficial for all of this because you can make money on them as well by making your customers happy. You're a one-stop shop and you're getting all these services done for them. Once you've done work for people and the referrals start coming in and you're doing good work, people trust you. And once they trust you, it's easy to upsell them on things. It's easy for them to take your recommendations. For instance, my electrician I use all the time, my plumber, I have roofers, I have a whole bunch of people that I try and meet all the time and I use them. So these people, for instance, if they go with me for some reason and they do all this work and they're happy by the end of it, maybe they're going to call me up the next year and say, "Oh, hey, Aaron, we have this going on. Can you come and give us a quote?" I go over there. There's a little bit of landscaping job to do, but they say, "Oh, do you know a roofer?" Well, actually, I have a roofer that we work with. He's very professional, and I highly recommend him. "Oh, really? Yeah, here, I'll give you a price for that, or I'll have them call you." You can do it both ways. You can have the subcontractor call them directly and deal with them 100%, and then your contractor that you've referred, he just gives you a cut in the end, whether he gives you 10%, 5%, whatever for finding the job, or you do it through my business. You do it through your own business. You say, "Yeah, I'll send my roofer guy who does the roofs for us. I'll send him over to give you a quote." So he goes over, he speaks with them, he does everything. He comes back to me and he says, "Aaron, it's going to cost you $10,000 to do this roof. That's how much I want." Perfect. I mark it up to say, I don't know, $12,000, just throwing a number out there. I go back to my customer and say, "Yeah, I can have my crew do your roof for $12,000. Are you interested?" Great. Boom. I just made $2,000 for being the middleman. Now, doing this, you have to have creditable contractors. You can't have garbage. If you're building your business and you want people to trust you, you need to have good work being done. But don't be afraid to charge for that work because if they're doing good work, the roofer, the subcontractor, they need to be making good money. I need to be making a good amount of money for setting it all up and putting my name out there and referring these people. And the customer needs to be happy at the end of the day. So don't be afraid to charge for that because everybody's going to be happy by the end of it. And if everybody's happy by the end of it, that's the goal. That's what you want. You're going to build a good brand. You're going to build your company on referrals. You're going to build your company on trust and honesty, which is super important. So anyway, today I received a call from those people that I gave the quote to a couple of weeks ago. I sent them the quote for the interlock repairs. I sent them the quote for the removals and the new plantings of the trees and the soil and the mulch. I sent them the quote for the asphalt driveway. I sent them the quote for the new railings. I sent them the quote for the new overlay on the concrete steps. And I got a call from them today. "Yeah, Aaron, it was great talking to you. You were the only one that showed up on time and were professional and had all these people under your belt. that you incorporated into the job for us to get everything done. We trust you. We've heard great things about you. Let's do it. We'll go ahead with everything. Perfect. I'll book you in the spring, and I'll let you know. So that job went from, like I said, it went from maybe it was going to be 10 or 15,000 up in, to like $30,000 relatively quickly. And that's how easy it is. And it's just from being honest, noticing things that need to be done, and having people that can do the work that you can't handle doing. There's nothing wrong with that. I remember when I first started my business 16 years ago, I was doing the lawn care, landscape maintenance, and maintaining properties. Well, I didn't have the time or the people or the skills to do the interlocking brick, to do the retaining walls, to do the big tree plantings. So I had other landscapers that I saw working in the neighborhood that strictly did that sort of thing every day. And those are the people I reached out to work on my behalf. So when my landscape maintenance clients would say, "Oh, Aaron, our patio needs rebuilt. Can you do that?" I knew very well at that point in time I couldn't do it. So I would say, "Yes, of course." I'll get a price put together for you. Then I would reach out to those other landscape companies and say, listen, my client's looking for a new patio. Can you come and quote it on my behalf? Sure. So they come over, we look around, we see what they want, we leave. My landscape contractor, gives me a price. I go back to my client with a bigger price and say, yes, we can do it for this price. Okay, great. And then that's how I would do it back then. So it's easy to do. It's good to have these contractors lined up that you trust and you recommend, because it's going to make you more money at the end of the year. Um, it's great. Just like today. Again, here's another easy one for you. Have a designer. I never used to do this until probably 4 years ago. Someone reached out to me and said, I'm fresh out of school for landscape design. Would you be interested in using me for some of your designs? And I thought, well, currently I'm designing everything and it takes up so much of my time. I'm like, yeah, how much? And they told me a small price, and I thought, yeah, that's good. Sure, I can use you. So I've been using the same person for like 5 years. And for instance, today I went to a meeting and they want a whole whack of work done. I know it's going to be around 35 grand ish, maybe 40. But they can't visualize it. As we're walking around the property, they're telling me, yeah, I want this, 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 and this. And by the end of it, I said, listen, we work with a designer. I have an in-house designer that can take care of this for you, can put your ideas on paper, give you a visual of everything, YouTube channel to look at it all, and you'll be able to see your whole property in real time, exactly what it's going to look like at the end process. And you're going to have all the plans, you're going to have everything. Would you like to have a design? It's probably $500 or something. It's relatively cheap. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Perfect. So now I leave their house. I send my designer the address. Say, go talk to these people and make a design for them. I'm going to upsell the design, and then, or I've upsold the design, and I'm going to mark up the price on the design and charge them. They're going to pay me, and bada bing, bada boom. Then everybody's happy again. My designer got work. The customer has now a plan and a visual of exactly what we're going to do. And then once that design is done, my customer is going to come back to me and say, okay, the design's done. How much? I'm going to put a price to it all. I'm going to say, this is how much it costs to get that dream that we just showed you. And most of the time they say, yeah, let's do it. If they can't afford everything at one time, then they'll say, okay, let's do this, 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 and this. Phase 2, we'll come back next year and do this, this, and this. And then we'll get to that end result, in a few years, instead of spending $40,000 in 1 year. These people I happen to know, they're gonna pay for it all up front. Some people do, some people have the means to do that. These people will. So I'm quite confident I'll get that job, because again, I went over to this meeting, I met with these people I've never seen before in my life. It was a referral from another job. I upsold them on a few things and the design, and I'm quite confident they'll call me up in 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, and say, Aaron, how much to do all this work you just designed for me? And I give them the price, and then we'll be booking them for the summer sometime, or maybe in the fall, because we're a little busy. It just shows you there's money to be made. You don't have to be super smart to do this. You just have to be smart enough to get good people working for you. Everyone I hire, I try and hire the best quality that I would use at my own house. So if I'm hiring stonemason to do flagstone, I would make sure he is the type of guy I would have at my house working. And he would do the job that I would expect, because then I can refer him confidently that he's going to do a job with my customers. Because this is, at the end of the day, it's your name on your business. You don't want a bad name, because then you're tarnished. Then you might as well move to very far away, because you're not going to get any referral work. In this business, landscaping, it's all about trust, honesty, and referrals, and you'll make good money. I have a small business. There's only 4 or 5 of us. I have 2 trucks. I have a little bobcat, and I make decent money. I mean, I pay my guys what I can, and I make decent money for doing it all. So yeah, landscaping, guys, easy to do, a little bit of sweat involved, but yeah, the upsells and subcontractors are the way to go. You got to incorporate that stuff and just take care of it. And people will learn to like your work. They'll trust you and give you lots of their money because you deserve it. Now's the season to get started. Don't be scared to do it. Just take the leap and get your job going. Get your license for your business name, whatever it is, and just start. You don't have to start doing huge things. Just start doing little jobs. And if you want to quote on the bigger jobs, get someone else to do it for you on your behalf and mark it up. It's as easy as that, guys. Like I said, go watch my other videos on the even easier jobs. If you're too scared or not experienced to do the hardscaping end of things, I have a few videos where you can learn making money aerating for $1,000 a day, grass cutting, soil and mulch top up. There's a bunch of other landscaping videos you can watch to learn how to make some quick, easy money landscaping. Thanks for being here. Consider subscribing, or at the least liking this video if you made it this far. Take care, and until next time.